welcome to the Z Hut. Today, I would like to show you the best way I have found so far to seal up your door to keep your heat in or your cold in, depending where you live or what time of the year it is. And this is the best way I have found so far on how to do this. I have tried lots of different things. The house I own, it's an old school house, and it's about 100 years old. And no matter what I tried on the door until I found this little trick, I could never get it to seal. I'd see light around the sides. During the winter, you'd feel cold air blowing in. I tried all kinds of stuff. And I finally came across this. And the reason I came across it, my neighbor installs garage doors. And he put mine in, and then he put this stuff called Stop and Seal on the garage door. And that kept snow and rain from blowing in around the edges. But lo and behold, you can use this on your door to your house. And I put it on my door. Nothing. I cannot see any light inside. I cannot feel any draft coming in. Fixed it. And the stuff is cheap. They don't give it away for free, but it is inexpensive. It's not that expensive. And it's called Stop and Seal. It's for garage doors. And I'll move in here to the camera a little closer and show you. It's a semi-rigid piece. It's plastic of some kind. I don't think it's fiberglass. And then there's this rubberish seal right here. And when you put it in the door, it stops the breeze from coming through, rain from coming through, snow. I mean, if I had a blizzard condition and the wind was coming out of the south, it would actually blow snow underneath my door. With this, now I don't think it will. No, I'm not using this underneath the door. It was on the edges of the door the snow would come in. Because the bottom of my door, and that's another thing, at the end of the video I'll show you that. There's a second trick for sealing the bottom of your door. I mean, you could do this stuff on the bottom of your door, but you're going to want to be careful. Somebody's going to probably trip on it. But you could use it on the bottom as well, but I found a better solution for that. And at the end of the video, we'll take a look at my house door, and that's actually behind us. For demonstrations, I haven't put any on my garage door yet, and I actually just put this door in not too long ago. I did get it used. That's why there's a couple scratches and dents in it, but it was in good shape. And you see, I still got a little work to do. I filled in and insulated, and I got to cut that off and trim this in a little. But for demonstration purposes today, we're going to show you how this works. Now, these pieces come, the one I got from my neighbor, I think it was a 14-foot piece. I do believe you can get longer, and I do believe you can get shorter, depending on what you need. But I've actually got another longer piece right here that I'll be using for the demonstration in a moment here on how to put this on, install it. And you can get it in different colors as well, and I do believe it's paintable. I don't think you'd want to paint the seal part itself, but the rest of it you probably could. Not positive on that, but I think you could. You might want to check into it yourself. I'd ask the neighbor, but he's not a painter, and I am, actually. I was a professional painter for several years, so I do believe he can paint this. I don't see why not, but... Alright, with that, well, let's get into it here. I'll show you how to install this on your door quick, and then afterwards, I'll turn the camera around and show you, because my house is right behind me, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's been installed, and also show you my other trick for how to seal the bottom of the door so you don't get any air coming in. And this will reduce your heating and cooling costs. Now, I live here in Minnesota, so in the summer it gets hotter than heck. In the winter, it gets cold and windy. Alright, well, I'm going to just use the small piece here for the demonstration, but as you can see, there's this rubber seal thing. And to install it, the first thing I did, now when they put it, the neighbor installed my garage door for me. He just nailed right through it, but I like just being careful. So this is optional, but what I did when I put it on the house, is I drilled a hole. I pre-drilled it every 8 inches, and he just hammered it in. Now, you could use screws, but be careful. If you tighten them screws down too much, that could split it. By using a nail, when it gets in, the head hits this, it's not going to go any further, so it's probably not going to split it. So if you want to use screws, try it, and I might recommend countersinking it a little bit. Just take a bigger drill bit that's the size of the head of your screw and just slightly countersink it so it's nice and flush. And then if you paint it, it looks nice, but otherwise nails work fine. Use a rim shank though. If you don't know what a rim shank is, ask me at your hardware store. And the nails I'd recommend about the length of the nail twice as long as the thickness of the piece. You should be fine. A little bit longer. I would not go any shorter though. And don't try using a 2-inch, 3-inch nail with this. I mean, you're wasting. It's going to go through the other side and ain't going to help. So, what you do, well, I got the short piece, but with a longer piece, actually, I'll show you with that. Oh, you bring it in, and you want to keep it nice and tight, and push it up to where you can see it's actually sealing the door. Then take, and of course you've already pre-drilled it, or if you're not pre-drilling, take and put a couple of your nails in, just give them 1 or 2 little taps so they're into the plastic a little. That way get it in. Then start hammering in, and as you go down, just push it. And I mean, you don't have to give it the He-Man push and try to push it through the door. You want it snug, but don't push so hard that it's actually lipping over. It's trying to curl out. That won't work. You want to kind of go between them 2 positions. And when you see it's laying nice and flat, sealing it, nail it in. Now, like I said, this one's not quite long enough, and I'm going to be getting some more of this, and I am going to do this door because I'm eventually planning on putting a heater in the garage for in the winter so I can do work out there, but currently it's not, and this door actually does seal pretty decent. The garage is not as old as my house, and I got this door put in, and it's actually in pretty good. You can just see a little light on the corners inside, but I will most likely put this on there. It don't hurt, especially if you're heating the garage, and like normally you'd probably be using this on your house, and if you're running an air conditioner, this keeps the hot air from blowing in. And during the winter, you're running the heat, keeps the cold air from blowing in. So, alright, with that, what I'll do here is I'll pause the video for a moment or two and get the camera flipped around, and I'll show you on the house I've already got it installed. And also I'll show you that tip I was talking about on the bottom of your door, which is where in most houses, that's where most of your cold air actually comes in, because a lot of those seals you can get, and it's kind of something similar to this. It goes on the inside. It's got like a plastic wiper, and they don't always work the greatest. And, well, I'll see you over here in just a second. I flip the camera around, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'll catch you there in just a moment. Alright, we're back, and here's my door on the front of my house. I decided just to handheld the camera for this so we can get up close and show you how all this is done. So I'm going to move on up. In there. Now here's the stop and seal installed. And you can see it's doing a nice tight seal. I got it running up. Now I got a little tiny gap right here. Now what I'm going to be doing there is I'm just going to put a little silicone here. I don't have to worry about the rubber gasket sealer on the stop and seal, but just a little bit of silicone here, just so not any air ain't getting through, and the same thing on the other side. So that's another recommendation. When you put this in, you're not always going to be able to get it 100% tight, and just do a little silicone in there and you should be good. But you can see how I got it put in. It's not too hard to do. And when I go on the inside of the door, I used to be able to see light around almost 3/4 of it. And I tried all kinds of different seals and stuff you can get at the hardware store, and it just didn't work. And then the neighbor showed me this stuff. I'm like, wow, you know what? I bet I can use that on my door. And you know what? You can. And it works great. I'm actually surprised they don't market this for using on your house doors. Because, I mean, this is a way better seal than what you'd normally have on the door. You got your... Let me open it up. I'll show you here. Alright, I don't know if you can see that, but that's that little seal you normally have. And you can see how that's actually behind down there, and it's sticking out down here. And because this is a really, really old house, and nothing is flush anywhere. I'm not joking when I'm saying this house is roughly about 100 years old. And if you got an old house like this, or you're having a situation problem like that, just go with the garage door stop and seal. Alright, now you've seen how that's on there. Let's go down to the trick with the bottom of the door. I don't know if you can see that. I can't remember offhand what them are called. I just always called it a door sock. And it's got this like foam piece on both sides. It's like a foam noodle in there. And my cat's kind of scratched this one up. And I've been using this one for about 3 years now. So by this winter, I'm going to replace it. But for the summertime, I'm going to use it. And that's why also you see in the corners here, I haven't trimmed the stop and seal to fit this because I'm going to be replacing it. And the new one I buy might be a little bit different thickness. So I haven't trimmed that yet on either side. And that's something you're going to need to do when you use one of these. But I don't think these weren't quite meant for outdoor use. But they work great. It used to fit real tight, but on the inside it fits good. The outside's a little loose. And like I said, I've had this on here for several years, and the cat scratched on it a little. And just remember, you put one of them on there, then you're going to have to trim your stop and seal just a tiny bit at the bottom, so you get a good seal. Oh, and another thing. Now on the garage, on my door handle, I'm going to have to trim a little bit. The house, I got lucky. It just barely fit. Now, if you go and put this on and it's lipping over your cover like that a little bit, or in my case it don't, it actually worked out perfect. Then just take an X-Acto knife or a razor blade and just trim it a tiny bit around there. Just only take off the bare minimum you have to make this work. And you'll be good to go. And if you've got a deadbolt, which would normally be up here a little bit, you might have to do the same thing. But you're still going to have enough of the seal still there. It should seal. And you should be good to go. Well, with that, I think we can wrap this video up. I hope you did find this information useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. I do normally do videos on electronics and stuff like that, but I have been throwing in a couple videos here and there on home repair, lawnmower repair, just things I thought would be useful to people that you normally just wouldn't find on YouTube. So you can subscribe if you want. If you're looking to subscribe to a channel that's just doing home repair stuff, well, you might not want to subscribe. Just give me a thumbs up. I'd still appreciate it. But if you're interested in electronics, other stuff like that, check my channel out. So with that, I'll say thank you for joining us at the Z Hut here today. Have a great day, and remember, have fun building.